And welcome back to Vikings Cavalcade. This is Jay with you. Recently, Branden and I had the chance to find the whereabouts of one Chris Kluwe, and we had a word with him. The technology was kind of screwy. We kind of got screwed by technology. But in the end, I think the interview turned out pretty well. So here it is in its entirety, the Vikings Cavalcade exclusive interview with Vikings punter Chris Kluwe.
All right. So, how you been spending the off season so far, man?
It's been good. Just been in California, enjoying the warm weather, and then working on my punting.
Nice. Have you had a chance to talk to Greg Jennings yet?
No, not yet. It's usually we meet everyone, like all the new additions to the team stuff, when we get there for OTAs.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, despite Harvin wanting out of Minnesota, are you guys? Is the team kind of upset that he's gone still, or do you kind of think it was a good move for the team?
Well, it always hurts to lose a player of first caliber because he's definitely a difference maker out on the field. But that's in the end, it's front office stuff. It's not like we can really make a difference there. It's more what does the management want to do in terms of those decisions. So I think we just have to go forward.
Right. The team went from 3-13 to 10-6 in 1 year, and we saw that chemistry develop between, the whole team. Really, I mean, AP really had a big part in a lot of those game-winning performances and everything. But Ponder, seemed to develop and everything. What do you see for 2013?
Well, honestly, I don't know, because that's the thing with the NFL is that you really don't know which teams are going to be good and which teams are going to struggle from year to year. And we were exactly the case in point, because a lot of people predicted we were going to go 6-10, maybe 7-9, and we ended up going 10-6 and shock a bunch of people. So ideally, we're going to win every game. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I know that's definitely the mindset as we're going into the season. I think that's the mindset for everyone who plays in the NFL.
Hey Chris, this is Jake, Brandon's co-host. I got some questions for you myself.
Sure.
Your stats have been phenomenal, and you've established yourself as a really reliable punter. Are you bitter you haven't been selected to a Pro Bowl yet?
Well, the problem is that like each year I've been close, there's been someone that's just been a little bit over in terms of gross yardage, and it hasn't helped that a lot of years, I've been asked to kick the ball shorter so we can cover it better. And, that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make for the team because it helps the team do better. So, Pro Bowls are nice, but at the end of the day, it's about wins and losses and whether you keep your job.
Oh, yeah. And my next question kind of ties into that. How do you define, from a punter's perspective, a good season or a good game?
I think if you're still employed at the end of it, that's no, it's mainly, did you give your coverage team a chance to get down the field and cover the ball? Did you put it where the coaches wanted? And, generally, did you do your part to help the team win? And I think, most of the time I've been able to do that.
All right, and I've got another question here. Blair Walsh was a rookie sensation in 2012. Really, really good. When was the moment that you knew that this kid was going to be special?
Pretty much the first game, the Jacksonville game, when he went out and hit the I think it was a 53-yard to tie it, and then
55
in overtime.
He and I were at that game.
Yeah, me and Jake were at the game. That's the minute that we just absolutely knew that Blair Walsh was going to be solid.
Right, exactly. Because that's not an easy situation, especially for your first year in the league. I mean, that's one of the most pressure-filled situations you can imagine. And
oh, I know.
For Blair to just go out and hit it, approach it calmly, hit the ball well, and put it through, I think that really showed a lot of people, that he was taking it very seriously and he intended to be a very good kicker, which he showed.
Yep, and the rest is history so far.
Yeah, exactly.
So, did Blair ask you a lot of questions early on in the year?
Yeah. It's he's kind of the young buck, and I'm the seasoned vet, me and Colin. And so we did our best to take him under our wing, and just pretty much let him know kind of mentally what to expect in an NFL game, because the thing is that the season is a lot longer than a college season. college season is like maybe 11, 12 games.
Right.
NFL is 20 games if you include the preseason.
Yep.
So it's definitely a grind, and you have to make sure you're able to stay focused the entire way through. So, hopefully Colin and I were able to distill and impart some of our wisdom to Blair and, kind of help him realize what the first year in the NFL is like.
Right. Got one more Vikings-related question for you, but then I was going to just jump into a couple miscellaneous ones. This one comes from a fan of the website, actually, John Green. He wants to know why you haven't considered switching back to number 4, if you have considered switching back to number 4 since McNabb left.
Well, 5 was my original number, and then I only picked 4 because McNabb had come, and I figured that way if Brett came back, I would
Yeah.
Brett go to something else.
Yeah, man. No, go ahead.
Was that?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, 5 is pretty much. I don't see any way I'm going to switch out of it for the remainder of my career unless again we get some superstar quarterback or someone that wants 5 and is willing to do some sort of crazy scheme.
Right, man. Yeah, you rock that number 5 out too. Just I like the number 5 on you.
It's a little better looking than the 4. I don't know why.
Yeah. It's more of a punter number, I think. I would just have to say. So your band Trippin' Icarus, are you guys? I know you're in California right now. I mean, you were talking about that the other day, but you guys planning on coming to the cities like this summer, or when are you guys planning on playing next around Minnesota?
It's gonna depend what happens with our singer. He ended up getting diverticulitis last off season.
Oh gosh.
So, yeah, he had to go through a bunch of surgeries, and he was in recovery for a while. And he was originally supposed to have his his catheter and stuff that they had to insert removed in February, but the scar tissue was still too tough, so he's not going to be able to have that done until May.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so they're going to be chopping him up again.
So gosh.
It's really dependent on how he feels. Ideally, we'd like to play some shows during the summer, and then, obviously shows during the season, but it's more, what his health's going to be like.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I probably should have done more research on that before I asked you the question.
Oh, no, that's all right. We didn't really put it out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
All right, so we know you're a gamer. You've made quite a big deal about that. So both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox 720 are coming out this year. Which one are you more excited for?
Well, I'm excited for whichever one has good games. Will hopefully
That's a must.
And unfortunately, it looks like Xbox is thinking about going with an always-on requirement for the 720.
Yeah,
which
I heard
I'm not
about
a real
that.
big fan of.
Oh, man.
Because the internet infrastructure in this country isn't that great. And to have an always-on connection, not only is it bad for people, who want to play offline occasionally, like say the power goes out or, you're on a trip or whatever, but also for people in rural areas. I mean, if you're on like dial-up or if you're out on a farm somewhere, you don't necessarily have access to broadband. And that's really limiting the customer base for the console. So I would prefer if they don't have that at all. And I think if they do have it, I probably won't end up buying whatever console has it.
Huh.
Yeah, I did hear about that. I mean, that's really a problem for me, too. All right, one last question here. Are there any video games to keep an eye out for, in your opinion?
Coming up with like the new 720 and the PS4, anything you're hearing about any games getting out?
Yep.
The only game I've seen is I think The Witcher 3, and I played the first one, really enjoyed it. Didn't really get into the second one, but the third one looks pretty cool. Mainly from the graphics perspective of what they've shown. Just it's got like real time weather and really cool lighting effects and stuff like that. So other than that, I haven't really heard anything, but I'm sure there's going to be a ton of good games, and hopefully developers have been working on them the past year or two, so they're ready to go at launch.
Oh, and just out of curiosity, what do you consider your favorite video game of all time?
Favorite video game of all time is Final Fantasy VI for the Super Nintendo.
Ooh, good choice. Super Nintendo too? I like that.
Yep.
Man,
Yep,
old school.
Best video game ever made.
Yep. Man, Super Nintendo in general is just great. I miss those days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was pretty much the golden age of role-playing games, because you had Square making so many good games, and then they kind of lost their way.
Yeah, there were so many good games, man. All right, well, thanks for interviewing with us, Chris. I really appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, keep in touch, all right?
Okay.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, well, that was Chris Kluwe with us. Hopefully that audio turned out all right, but he seems be having a pretty good offseason so far, enjoying himself.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. He just did help lead the team to a 10-6 record, and I think the Vikings are destined for bigger things down the road, and hopefully they can kind of utilize Chris as a secret weapon as time goes on, maybe to try to pin someone back deep in the Super Bowl and then get some kind of game-ending turnover,
Right. He does have the good inside the 20 kind of punting, too, which really has helped out the team in the past. Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back to you with the third segment, Vikings Cavalcade. Cavalcade.
Yes, Cavalcade.
Sorry. Vikings
Quit getting it
Cavalcade.
wrong.
Vikings Cavalcade.
See you later.